This is going to be a very real sermon to you today. So I would make sure to listen to what God is saying. Don't listen to me. You listen to His word. How many of you, show of hands, would say that you often or regularly feel stressed? Raise your hands high. Pretty good. How many of you would say that you often or regularly feel some financial tension or stress? Yeah. Thank you for your honesty. How many of you would say, I wish I had more time in a day? I wish that I had more time for myself. Anybody ever say that? All the mamas are like, right? How many of you would classify yourself as too busy? Too busy. Like it just seems too busy. Not enough hours in the day. Yeah. Hands are going up everywhere. I don't know if you're watching online and maybe you threw up the praise hands or not, but in here, it was like 90% success rate on all of our failures. We live in a culture that pushes us to the limits. We're go, 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 do, accomplish more, strive for more, it's not good enough, go, conquer more. And if we're honest with ourselves, most of us are living at an unbiblical and unsustainable pace. And this is normal. So much that our kids, our 7, our 8, our 9, our 10, our teen, so much that on top of going to school for 7, 8 hours a day, they come home, they've got 2 or 3 hours of homework, they also have a 2-hour practice. By the time they get home, we forgot about dinner, we've got to run and go to get McDonald's. They come home, they got to stay up till midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock just to survive because we're too busy. And we think this is normal. It's become normal. And the schedules that we impose on our kids, it makes us stressed out. It makes us question if we're really enjoying our life. If I came up and asked you, hey, are you enjoying the way you're living right now? A lot of people would say no, and I don't have time to talk about it. Right? Because we're too busy. We're too busy. We're going to be in a series called Too Busy. Today, the reason I want to suggest that we're too busy is because most people have no margin for the most important thing. Margin. Do you know what I mean by margin? You remember when you get a sheet of paper and there's 1-inch margins on each side, right? Those are margins. How does margin relate to us? Margin is the difference between what you have and what you need. Does that make sense? So listen, let's do a little math. If you have 30 minutes to get somewhere and it takes you 20 minutes to get there, you've got 10 minutes of margin. Does that make sense? That's how much margin you have in your life, okay? So if you have $100 worth of bills a month and you have $80 in the bank, you don't have good margin, do you? So how does this play out in our lives? Well, creating margin in your life would be showing up 5 or 10 minutes early to a meeting so you're not stressed out all the time. Financial margin would be having money left up. Listen, I know this is going to blow you away, but after all the bills, at the end of the month, after you've done, actually having money left over, that's margin. So you're not stressed. Margin is having a distance between you and temptation. It could be having emotional capacity to deal with problems. Margin could be having 1, 2, dare I say it, 3 or 4 nights a week where you don't have anything on the schedule? Margin. Margin is having time to think, meditate, and spend with God. Not a quick, God, thank you for this food, amen. Can we be honest this morning, church? Margin is what most of us do not have, but something we all need. And we want it. I mean, we would all want more hours in the day. We would all want to free up some time. We'd all like to be home and not have to do anything. So here's the big idea today. If we don't have margin with Jesus, we'll end up too busy for Jesus. You can interpret that 2 ways. If you don't have margin with Jesus, then Jesus isn't a part of your life. You're too busy for him. Or, if you don't have margin with Jesus, we'll end up too busy doing for Jesus. We can do a lot of things for Jesus, but never be with Jesus. So if I get a little emotional today, if I get a little choked up, this is a hard message for me because I'm a doer, I'm a goer, I'm a pleaser. So my wife's going to give me a lot of nods, and I need that today because this message is for me just as much as it is for you. So here we go, Luke chapter 10, what we read. We've got 2 women. We have Martha and we have Mary. Verse 38 says, now, as they went on their way. This is Jesus. And I don't know about you, but when I hear a story, I like to put myself there. And if you're not careful, you think that it's just Jesus, Mary, and Martha. But the likelihood is by now that Jesus has a following. I mean, his disciples, but it's a gathering. It's a movement. And people are, wherever Jesus goes, they want to be a part. So there's probably anywhere between 50, 100 people that are with Jesus, and they go, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she has a sister named Mary. And so, now picture this. Jesus in the house, he's reclining. Mary takes a seat just to listen to Jesus, just to be with Jesus, around Jesus. Martha doesn't. In fact, this is her house, ladies. What are we doing when you have guests come over? What are you doing when the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the Messiah, the one who everyone's talking about, the most popular guy right now in religion, what are you doing? I mean, you're dusting, you're cleaning, you're making sure that your towels match your shower curtain, right? Like you're doing all of that stuff. You are preparing a feast. You're not giving him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, you're gonna start. I mean, it's Jesus. I got to get ready. And this is Martha. She's getting out her good plates, her fine china, and she's working hard for Jesus. It's a good thing what she's doing, right? I mean, this is Jesus. He deserves our best. He deserves to be served. In fact, he says, we should serve. That's what we should do. So she's serving Jesus. But she was distracted from the best thing. Someone said this, I heard it one time. If Satan can't make you really, really bad, he'll make you really, really busy. We become so focused on doing stuff and our agenda and what we think is important, we miss the most important things, and we're distracted from the best. So many of us are obsessed and think that everything that we have to do is important and matters and is the best and is urgent. And this is what our culture has taught us. And this is Mary and Martha, right? So just picture it. Can you just not picture Mary slaving? I mean, she's in that kitchen and can you believe Mary? I cannot believe this. Why am I sitting here doing all the work and Mary's just being lazy? Can't you put yourself there? That's what she is. I just need a little help. It's just too much. So she goes out to Jesus, right? I mean, yeah, come on, she goes out to Jesus. Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? I'm only one woman. Lord, you deserve our best. Just tell Mary to come help me. You know what's funny? Martha is convinced that what she's doing is right. She thinks she's doing the most important thing. I mean, Mary's just sitting there, just being with Jesus. You know what's tough about this message? As you hear this, many of you are going to see your way of living, the way of doing things, as right. You're going to think, I have to live like this. I have to do this. If I'm not busy, then I can't, and you fill in the blanks. I can't have more, I can't do more, I can't pay for this, I can't go here, I can't provide this, my family. And you'll convince yourself that you're doing the most important things. This is Martha. And even, let's be honest, even if you realize that your way of living is not the best, and that this is probably true, what can you give up? Like you look at your schedule. I can't stop doing this. I can't stop working. I have to pay for this. Well, I bought this car. I have to have. Look, our house, it's got to get paid for. Look, my kids, they need the best opportunities. You don't even see that you're distracted. And you're convinced that this is the way that life has to be because everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is living this way. You look at the people around you. You look at our culture. This is how life is. Everybody is doing it. We forget the fact that broad is the road and wide is the path that leads to destruction. The Bible says, and many people are on it, but small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and very few people find it. That's why the words of Paul in Romans chapter 12, verses 2 are so important for you to just soak in. It says, do not be conformed to this world. I don't care that the world tells you to go, 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 go. Have more, have more, have more. Bigger house, nicer car, new phone. Got to take the kids to every single sport because they might miss an opportunity. That's the world. Do not be conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. How do you renew your mind? You get in His Word. That by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So what we're going to talk about in the next few weeks, this Too Busy series, it's going to rock some of us. Now some of you will listen and you'll go out of here and you'll go, that was pretty good. He's right. I may change a few little things. There's some things I need to work on. There'll be minor changes. Can you hear me clearly? I'm not pushing for minor changes. God doesn't want minor changes. You're smart. If minor changes would make a difference, you would have done it by now. I'm talking about radical, life-altering decisions so that we can live the way God has planned. Not like Martha was doing. She runs in. Lord, just tell her I'm right. You're worth it. I'm serving. Tell her I'm right. And Jesus says, no. Stop trying so hard. I mean, look at it, verse 41. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. I wonder how many of us this morning feel anxious and troubled about many things. Worry is your God almost. Because it's what you do 24/7. Some of you are so anxious, so fearful. You're thinking about all the ways that you've got to get ahead, how you can do it, and you've got a plan, and you've got to make sure this works, and your schedule has to stay busy so you can provide this. And we're anxious. We're distracted by many things today. I find that, like Martha, the more I do, really, the more we do, the more anxious, the more distracted we become. Jesus says, you're worried about so much. Verse 42, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. What's the one thing? What's the one thing that Jesus says we need? What's the one thing? Apparently, it's not doing more for Jesus. It's not working so hard for Jesus in this life. It's not being distracted by all this stuff. It's one thing that's necessary. What's the one thing? It's to intentionally stop, sit with Jesus, and listen. That's it. Create margin with Jesus. Create margin. Remember, that's what we don't have, but what we need. Create margin with Jesus. The choice is ours. It's yours. And some of you are going to go, well, Chris, you don't know my schedule. All you do is preach on Sundays. Oh, okay. That's right. I don't know your schedule. I don't know your life. I got it. But I know I have 24 hours in a day. I know you have 24 hours in a day. How are you using them? Where's your margin? And I know this is a tough message because many of you are going to walk out and go, well, that was good, but I can't give up anything. I can't stop doing something. I can't start doing something. Martha, distracted. One thing is necessary. So let me give you two things about margin really quick. If you're taking notes, if you're on the app, here we go, ready? When there is no room for margin, there is plenty of room for stress. I just saw a bunch of hands go up say you were stressed out a lot. I guarantee you it's lack of margin with Jesus. When margin decreases, your stress increases. Think about it. When you run late in the mornings, when you're running late to somewhere and your margin decreases, what happens? You get stressed out. Some of you get in the car and it's on like Donkey Kong, right? If somebody's with you, they better not talk because you are going to blast them. Some of you on the way to work, you were on the way to church here this morning. You were running a little late, right? It wasn't your fault. We got it. And you said some ungodly things. You thought some ungodly things. Why? Because when margin decreases, your stress increases. Right? You think financially, same thing. If you have no financial margin, what happens to your marriage? If you're married, you start fighting over money because there's no margin. There's none there. If something breaks, you got two problems. Something's broken, now you don't know how to fix it because you don't have any money. What happens? Margin decreases, stress increases. Second thing about margin, where there's no room for margin, there is no room for intimate relationships. As your margin decreases, your relational intimacy decreases. I have to be careful because I struggle with this. I'm not going to look at that direction. It's easy to be with people, but not with people. Here's what I mean. It's easy to go home after a hard day's work and your family's there, or your friends are there, or your roommates are there, and it's easy to be with them, but still not be with them. You're still thinking about work and all of the 74 other things you have to do. It's easy to be present and not be present. And what happens if you have no margin, there's no more room for intimate relationships. I've done this. I'm going to guess that a lot of parents have done this, that you're tired. You know, you're just tired after a long day, and it's 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I'm tired that. Some of you might not be, but I'm tired at 7, 8 o'clock, and my daughter comes to me and says, hey, let's play Yahtzee. She likes Yahtzee. Let's play Yahtzee. What do I say? No, not tonight. I got too much. Not tonight. It's been a long day. I got a lot to do. I still got to get some things done. No, I've done that. I'm distracted by things that are not the most important thing in that moment. Because my little girl will be gone before I know it. This is not only true with people, it is true with God. Hey, I haven't seen you in church in a long time. Oh, well, I'm just busy, man. I'm traveling every weekend, and I'll come when I can, but I just got busy. We used to be here all the time. Yeah, I just got really busy, though. I'm working longer hours. I've got to do this, and I'm studying really hard all the time. I just can't make it. It's a long day. I don't know. I'm busy. No margin. Well, how's your relationship with God? Well, we were going, it was really good, and then, I had to take on another job, or, man, my marriage got complicated, and I've been trying to work on that, and I know what I need to do. I need to get back, but I've just lost no margin with God. And we think this is normal. Why? I mean, why is it that so many of us live a marginless life? Why do we plan on slowing down one day, but one day is still way out there? We never slow down. You retired now. Great. And now you're busier than ever. Right? Why is it that we say money doesn't make us happy, but it's the one thing we go after hard? Hard. Why don't we radically cut back on our schedules to make time with each other, most importantly with God? Why? Why don't we have margin in our life? Here's the answer. We don't have margin because we don't fully trust God. That's it. That is it. We don't have enough faith to really believe that God is on the throne and that He'll handle the details of life and that His way of doing life is better. We're afraid we're going to miss out on something. There's that elusive thing that we want. We don't even know what it is, but we feel like if we do this, or if we have this, or if we go here, or if we invest in this, then that's what'll fill us up. So I got to work harder. I got to have more money. I got to go. Got to be at a meeting, because if I don't, I'm going to miss out. Too busy. No margin, because we don't trust God. Most of us make more money than we ever have, and we battle with more financial stress than we ever have. Most of us have better opportunities than we ever have, and yet we're more empty and exhausted. Why? It's because we fill our life with things that don't matter. Here we go. In a word, it's idolatry. It's idolatry. What are the things that you pursue? What are the things you are longing to get or to buy? What are the things you do more than God? All of those things. That's idolatry. You may not have a golden calf. You may not have a little statue of a god, and you may not think of it that way. But if you're putting anything before God, it's idolatry. Look at your schedule every day. We have elevated good things to become supreme things. And look, let's be honest. Martha, she's doing good things. She's preparing for Jesus. She's serving Jesus. She wants to be with Jesus. She wants to be with Jesus, but she's not with Jesus. She's serving and doing and going and investing and spending. And all that stuff, it's really an idol. It's insane, and it's killing us. We're too busy. There's no margin. And all of us would say, I'm too busy. I need to figure this out. I want to. Here's what Jesus says. Matthew 11. Listen closely. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened. Hey, come to me if you're stressed out. Come to me if you're overwhelmed. Come to me when you can't get it all done. Come to me, all of you who feel insignificant, who feel worthless. Come to me whose marriages are on the rocks. Come to me if you're single and you're longing for a relationship and you don't understand why because you feel like you're a great kid. Come to me. Come to me, single parents who are just tired and it's just a mess. Come to me. Come to me, business guy who is faced with a moral or an ethical crisis. Come to me. If you feel like you're going to lose it, come to me. Come to me, mom. Come to me, mom. Listen, come to me if you're worn out, you're tired, you love your family, but you're exhausted, and you don't know how long you can do this, and it's mentally killing. Come to me. Come to me if your marriage is struggling, if you don't understand why your husband is the way he is, or your wife. Come to me. Come to me, everybody who's overwhelmed and feel insignificant, and you're busy all the time. Come, Jesus says, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Have we quit learning from Jesus? You can't learn from Jesus unless you're with Jesus. He says, for I am gentle and lowly, humble in heart. And grasp this, and you will find rest for your souls. You want to know why you're too busy? You want to know why you're stressed out, you're worried, you're anxious, you're incomplete, you're unfulfilled, feel like you've got to go, and do, and please, and have, and more, and bigger house, bigger car. You want to know why? It's because you don't have any margin with Jesus, and your soul is craving rest. Rest. Can you let that sink in? Do you know what it's like to rest? Rest in your soul. Peace, assurance, hope, security, tranquility, rest. Rest. If I asked you right now, how many of you need rest? I believe there's many of you who said, I'm a mess. I need rest. I'm worn out. I'm worn out physically. I'm worn out emotionally. I'm worn out. I just need rest. And Jesus says, come to me. We go on vacation. And what do we do on vacation? We want to rest. What do? Well, we go. We go shopping. We go and do. We go out to eat. We make sure to have fun. We take the kids to the park. I mean, we go. And what do we say when we get back home from vacation? Man, I need another day. I need a vacation from the vacation. Because we didn't rest. We didn't rest. Hey, single people, listen up. All of you who are single, I believe that you fall victim to this the most. Many single people, if they are not doing, if something is not on their schedule all the time, they feel like they're insignificant, that they're a loser, they've got to have it, or something must be wrong with them. That's why our culture is posting so much on social media, craving the likes, just dancing for people, or taking a picture, or having a video, because they are craving attention. And their soul is not able to rest because they're trying to find it in other places. And Jesus says, come to me. You need identity. You need love. You need forgiveness. You need healing. Come to me. I'll give you that. Moms, many moms I've talked to say, I don't have time for me. I love my family, so I'm always doing for them. I'm working hard. I'm taking care of them. And I can't even think about doing something for me. In fact, if I did something for me, I'd feel guilty. That's reality for many moms. Think about that. Do you realize how insane that is? That is not what God intends for you to do and think. Men, I got to make more because we got to live in this house that we bought. I mean, we need all 6 bedrooms because at one time we had a family of 6 and they're all gone and grown, but we still love this house. This is where our memories are. And you're financially just stressed out. You have no margin because you feel the sense that you got to have more and get more and do more so that you can show love to. It's idolatry. It's idolatry. It is what is taking precedence in your life. We have no time to rest. Can I tell you that Christians really do this well? And pastors promote this well, and staff. We get so caught up in the church and you growing spiritually and us growing numerically, and we want the best kids ministry, and we want the right people, and we want everybody to be in a life group, and all these things are good, but if we're not careful, we begin to let ministry for God replace intimacy with God. And that's what happens. We come in here and we do and we do and we do and we go and we go and we go and we give and we serve and we come and we pray and we do all of these things. We're Martha. We're Martha. And I just wonder, when is the last time you sat down and just listened to Jesus? And just sat. Well, I don't hear nothing. Okay, just sit there. Open His Word. Well, and what happens? We do that for about a minute, and then we start thinking about all the distractions. We're too busy serving. Well, I got to go get groceries. Oh, man, I got a big test coming up. I got to study. I can't spend too much time with Jesus. Okay, God, thank you. Hey, look, I love you. I'll be at church on Sunday. I'm serving in the kids' ministry. Thank you for this day. God, go with me. Go before me. I love you. Amen. And we're done. I was with Jesus. You did all the talking and none of the listening. Psalm 46:10. I believe that we need to etch this on our hearts. Be still. Know that I am God. Hey, listen, young people. You struggle with stillness. I know this. I'm not that young, but I struggle with stillness. I think a lot like you. And if I'm not doing, I feel insignificant. That's why you're on social media all the time posting things, because you feel in the blank. You have no rest in your soul because you cannot be still and know that He is God. And that's why I'm preaching this hard, because this is me. And you can have fun talking to my wife about this. I struggle with this. And so what I have to do intentionally is go on my calendar and make time, create margin with Jesus. That's just how I operate. If it's not my calendar, I struggle. My wife and I have to oftentimes coordinate that way. She posted that we're going on a date next Friday last night, and got excited. And we talk about it. Don't think we were messed up. I'm just saying, I'm so busy. I got 74 things on the brain that I can't focus. And all these things matter, but I miss the most important thing. So what do we do? What do we do? I mean, because I believe this is us. I believe we're too busy. By show of hands, you were too busy. You're stressed out. There's financial margin. You need some help with this. Okay, so what are we going to do? I want to be a pastor who is always prayed up, read up, and asking God, okay, what's the step we can take to help people, to help our church, to help our body do this? So if you're watching online, I want you to participate in this. If you're here, let's do this. Here's our homework. Just this week. Okay? Now, I don't want you to stop after this week, but just go for the week. 5 minutes a day. That's it. That's it. Sit down by yourself with Jesus. Listen, listen, listen. Don't produce anything. Don't talk. Don't think about things. Be in God's presence and listen. 5 minutes every day. Now, if you're already doing that, I'd encourage you to up the ante a little bit. Some of you are going to go crazy and go for 6 minutes, right? 6.5. What's going to happen is when you do this consistently, expecting to meet with Jesus, these idols in your life, they're going to start breaking down. God's going to start showing you who he is. He's going to reveal something to you in his word. But we're going to do this as a church. We're going to commit to 5 minutes a day. Look, I know you got laundry, right? Facebook, social media, that'll survive without you for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And don't post about your 5 minutes. Sit down. Okay, God. Just want to be with you. 5 minutes. You may have to set a timer. Don't check your watch every 30 seconds. I mean, you may have to be with God and watch what happens. 5 minutes a day this whole week. That's a first step to creating margin. That'll give you a little margin with God. Now, obviously, we don't stop there. We keep going. We keep growing. But we need rest for our souls. Ultimately, we must stop seeking meaning from things of this world and start seeking meaning and start finding meaning from the things of God. Isaiah 58. As we seek him, look, as you do this, look at this. Look what this verse says. And the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your desire in scorched places. Many of you are dry in a dry season. There's a situation where you don't know what to do. You can think about it right now, and you just feel hopeless and helpless, and you're tired and anxious. The Lord will satisfy your desire in scorched places and make your bones strong. He will give you the endurance you need. You shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters do not fail. We're too busy. So let's create some margin with Jesus and watch what Jesus does. We need some more Marys who just want to sit and be and listen to Jesus and grow in Jesus. Slow down. Slow down. Soak him in 5 minutes a day. Let's pray.